Welcome, everyone. I'm Jeffrey Goodman, Director of Marketing and Development for the YMCA of Northwest Louisiana, and we're here at 318 Latino Studios for Shreveport-Bossier, my city, my community, my home. And I can't wait for today's discussion. Our very special guest is Emily Jo Manchester-Sanden.
It's a long name. You got it.
I got it right?
First try too. I've been a few times where people are like they need a couple takes just for the name, and I always feel terrible.
Well, I was nervous. I was gonna say I was holding my breath, but I'd be lying because I don't think I could speak and hold my breath. But I was slightly holding my breath as I was doing it. So
I know what you mean. It's
okay, good. All right, Emily. Well, you're the executive director of one of our community's great nonprofits, Renesting Project Incorporated.
Thank you for calling us great.
Absolutely. I believe you are. Renesting Project is a community furniture bank doing really important work, providing basic furniture and household items free of charge to hundreds of men, women, and children in need, maybe thousands.
I don't know if we're quite there yet.
Okay, lots.
Yes.
So let's start here today. My first question for you is just talk to me about some of the different populations Renesting serves.
So I love that question so much every time I get it because it is very, very vast. The kind of stipulations that we have for someone receiving our services are you don't have what you're requesting, you don't have the means to get what you're requesting. And that opens it up to very, very many different types of people in different types of situations. The kind of list that we tend to give is previously homeless veterans, young people aging out of foster care, people who are escaping violence or have been relocated due to disaster, natural disasters or fires, or apartment buildings being condemned.
Violence, specifically like domestic abuse.
Domestic abuse is a big one. We work with a number of organizations that are helping mainly women and children, but just about anybody get housing when they've had to flee a situation like that. So it really is just about anybody. People who are have been released from prison, people who are recovering from addiction and have been homeless, a little bit of everybody, really. It doesn't take much to lose everything, unfortunately. So we're there to offer a hand up from crisis situations.
And you were recently honored by NBC6. I know I wasn't going to tell you. I was going to ask you this ahead of time, but you were recently honored by NBC6 as its Remarkable Woman of the Year, which from my perspective seems well-deserved.
Thank you very much. I'm still very uncomfortable with praise. So it's one of those things that like I kind of want to brag about because it's very exciting, but then I'm also like, oh gosh, I'm still very, very shy about it. But yes, thank you.
Absolutely. And I don't actually have an official question around that, but I wanted to make sure I mentioned it as I think it's a huge deal.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So Renest Fest, your annual fundraiser, is right around the corner. It's actually a week from today when we're filming, and it's going to happen 2 days after we publish this episode. We're going to publish on Thursday. It's going to happen a week from today, which is Saturday, the 27th. So tell people about this great and important event.
So it is our annual fundraiser, like you said. We are hoping to raise about $60,000. It's happening September 27th from 6 to 10 at the beautiful Live Casino and Hotel. They have been immensely supportive in helping us put this event on.
Is this the first year it'll be at Live?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So the history of this event is we had these huge fundraisers when we first started, and then during COVID, had to go virtual for a couple years, and we really lost so much steam. And then, money was very, very tight after the pandemic for a lot of organizations, including Renesting. And so for the few years after that, when we were able to have in-person events again, we held them at our warehouse. Not very exciting for some people. And also very limiting.
Just for folks who are curious.
Where Renesting is located.
Yeah,
so
which is where?
1331 Driftwood Drive in Bossier City.
Okay.
It's 6,500 square feet, which sounds like a lot, but it's full of furniture and household items, and our offices not very conducive to holding a big event. And we made it work. We really did. For what it was it was fun. But we've outgrown that space, or we're trying to outgrow that space. So we're just so excited to work with Live to make this fundraiser a bit more polished than it has been in the past. So we're very excited. There's going to be games, and Live is providing gorgeous appetizers. There's a cash bar. There's a cash prize costume contest. It's going to be a lot of fun. The theme is disco and donate. So we're encouraging people to come dressed in their best disco outfits. We have a DJ. He just called me yesterday and he's like, I'm downloading all these wonderful disco songs, and he'll have some other things mixed in if you hate disco. But it's really, we're so excited. Our auction actually just went live a few days ago, or a week ago now. When you're seeing this, we're about halfway to our goal already, just with ticket sales and sponsorships. I know. I'm excited. Fingers crossed. It's the biggest goal we've had in a while, because it's a bigger event. So we're like, well, hopefully we'll raise more money.
And your organization is growing, and yes. So that makes sense.
Fingers crossed. Yeah. So if you're interested in buying tickets, they are still available. renestfest.givesmart.com. The price will go up if you try to buy them the day of. So I recommend getting them now as you're seeing this. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Please come.
Absolutely. And as you'll learn more about Renesting through our conversation, it's just such a great organization.
Thank you.
And anything I've been a part of that Emily has overseen or spearheaded has been great. So I know this will be as well.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Well, I came across a quote of yours that I wanted to share, where you said, quote, "I really believe in the dignity of the human spirit and the collective power of community." And so what I'd like is for you just to talk to me some about that.
Gotcha. So dignity is one of Renesting's organizational values. We think it's so important that the items we're providing to our clients are helping them function with dignity in their dwellings. It's not about checking off a box. It's not about, well, this is better than nothing. I hate that. I hate that when people use that in our building, because Lee Jeter has said this to me, and I've never forgotten it. It's a hand up, not a hand out. We're not giving people things just to say that we're giving people things. We want people to be able to function with dignity in their dwelling. I'm not going to give someone a lamp with frayed wires that could start a fire and ruin their whole life all over again. So we're testing things. We're making sure that they're safe to provide a dignified service to the people that we're serving. And the first time I heard the phrase, the dignity of the human spirit, I went to a Franciscan Catholic university. I was raised Catholic, and it just stuck with me. I don't know how to explain it. It was just one of those things where I was like, I am not going to forget that phrase. I think it powers a lot of the work that I'm doing, not just at Renesting, but volunteering at other organizations, and making sure that any interaction I have with anybody, they feel seen as a human being, because no matter how I feel about them, or their actions, or their history, or their future, they're still a human being. So the dignity of the human spirit is important to me, not just at my work at Renesting, but in my everyday life. Kind of
a guiding light or a moral compass for you.
For sure.
And then just this other part of the quote, the collective power of community. I know you guys have a lot of partnerships at Renesting. Maybe talk a little bit about how that works and how you're partnered so extensively throughout the community.
Gotcha. So partnership is another one of our organizational values, because without I think we're at 64 partners, we wouldn't be able to reach the clients that we reach. We have 2 employees, myself and a full-time program manager. Everyone else is a volunteer. So we don't, as an organization, have the capacity to be doing any outreach, or to verify anyone's need, or to verify anyone's identity. Excuse me. And there are already so many organizations in our community that are doing that are reaching out, that are making sure people have these other necessities and access to resources. So partnering with these incredible organizations, all 64 of them, makes our lives easier, but also allows us to concentrate on what we're doing, which the mission, furniture and household items to people in need. So partnership.
Give me an example, if you could, just of maybe 2 or 3 of these partnerships, just so people better understand how that symbiotic and how that collaboration functions and works.
So one of our very first partners was the YMCA. They were helping women get into housing, but that that was it. Like, they were in this housing. They would try and source items from, churches in the community and things like that. But someone in an empty house, it's unlikely that they'll stay housed, because you have to pay rent and utilities and all these other things to stay in an empty apartment. It's not really worth it. So we partnered with them and we helped furnish these homes. We work with the Fuller Center as well to furnish those homes. We work with the VA hospital. They have a homeless veteran program, so they'll help veterans get into homes, and they have funding to provide beds, but we'll do everything else. We work with... there's so many. The Providence House. So when families with children are leaving their shelter and getting their own places, the Providence House, can send them with a few things, and we'll kind of fill that gap and provide other items. So our partner agencies are submitting applications on behalf of their clients with information about their need and their identity, and doing the due diligence of, this is who they say they are, this is their situation, and this is what they need. And then we're able to fill those orders.
I love that. So, the one organization saying we're filling, 50% of the gaps, and we would love if you could come in and fill the remaining, or something of that sort.
It is there. Like I've said, there's so many great organizations in this community that are doing so many great. They're helping people into housing. They're helping with counseling. They're helping with legal assistance, or getting children back into homes. They're helping young people that have aged out of foster care but don't have any resources, that have been wards of the state, or whose foster families have abandoned them. And they're providing all these other things that people need to function with dignity. And we're just filling that little gap right at the end of here's some furnishings so that you can worry about the other things that are happening in your life. And we can't do that alone. And that's why partnership is so, so important to us. Because when we all come together, we can lift people out of their crisis situations.
Yeah, so important.
Definitely.
Well, you and I met, if I'm not mistaken, because of the great work of Dr. Heather Carpenter, who runs the Institute for Nonprofit Administration and Research, or INAR as most know it, at LSUS. In 2023, you were one of 15 nonprofit leaders selected for the 2023 Nonprofit Capacity Building Cohort. You also earned your master's in nonprofit administration through INAR's program at LSUS. So what I'd love for you to do is for you to talk to me about INAR from your perspective, and why is the work they're doing so important in our community, and why has it been so important for you and your work?
So I have the job that I have now because of INAR, fully, 100%, undeniably. When I was there working on my master's, I was a grad assistant at INAR with INAR. And Stacey Hargis was my advisor there. She still works with INAR. I'm not sure of her official title, but she knew that I was kind of an Excel nerd and like a data entry nerd. So when Noelle Hacker, Renesting's founder and the executive director back then, it was 2017, she reached out to INAR and to the program and was like, I need some help with some data entry. And they had just moved, Renesting had just moved into a new building, and they were like, we have all these files, and like, we just need some help. And Stacey knew that was the kind of work that I just loved. I don't know, I'd make an ideal secretary in another life. Just love paperwork and that kind of thing. So Stacey told me about it, and I was able to do a portion of my grad assistant hours at Renesting. So Renesting didn't have to pay for me or anything like that, and I loved it. And then I never left. I never left. I loved it so much. I was like, I can't leave here. I did take a little break and like get a different job somewhere else, but I still volunteered when I could. And then in 2020, right before the pandemic, I was hired in January of 2020 to be, I'm trying to remember my title. I think it was data entry clerk. And then in February, Noelle was like, well, what if we made you a program specialist as like a trial basis? And then the pandemic hit, and she was like, okay, trial over, let's just do this. And then I eventually became assistant executive director. And then when she retired, and so in 2022, I became the executive director. I've been doing that for 3 years. So truly, my whole career trajectory is because of that one interaction, because I was at INAR, the right place at the right time. So I'll never, I'm always on the side of INAR, always because of them. I love my job. I love my life. And a lot of it is because of those relationships that I formed as a grad assistant. And then of course the capacity building cohort that you mentioned, that cohort actually, so I became executive director in October of 2022. And then the cohort started, I think, in February of 2023. So very shortly after I started, when I was still very much like trial by fire, like water up to my ears, like had no idea what I was doing, knew a lot about renesting, did not know a lot about being a leader. And I really credit that capacity building cohort with not only creating a network of other EDs that I could go to and be like, hey, this is crazy. Is this a me thing or is this like an industry thing? And I still reach out to a lot of the people that I was in that cohort with. And that is where we met. I think you were a mentor.
I was.
Yes. And I think I don't know what that first year of being an ED would have been like without that incredible resource of the capacity building cohort and learning more about what INAR was doing. Because when I was a grad assistant, I don't think Heather was there. I think Stacy was the interim director. So they were kind of in this in-between space. And so Heather's done a fantastic job with creating these resources that I accessed during the capacity building cohort and still do access. So I can't thank INAR and LSUS and Heather enough and the Beard Family Foundation.
And Stacy.
Yes, Stacy. Never forget you. For creating essentially the life that I have now and creating the organization that I run now. Because I don't think renesting would be where it's at. I wouldn't be where I'm at as a leader or an executive director without those connections and access to resources and to this network. I can't stress enough how the people that I met in that cohort that year are people whose organizations I still try really hard to support in my free time and who I reach out to for information like, hey, my accounting software is being weird. What do you use? So
for problem solving.
Yeah, because like Google, being able to access a network of people that are in this same environment, in this fishbowl, who are accessing the same funding or similar funding is so different than just Googling and getting organizations that are so much bigger or so much smaller and in a different community. We're very, very unique here. So being able to get information from people that are in this very specific community. I was trying to think of a different synonym, but whatever. It is so valuable, and I can't get over that. I reach out to the people that were there, Logan at Red River and Wendell from the Robinson, and I'm going to the Renzi Center event tonight. Like they're like, it's been. I truly don't know what I would be like as a leader without that experience. And then in 2025, this year, being invited back as a mentor was such an incredible honor. And I felt very, very uncomfortable initially. But I will say,
if you listen to other interviews with Emily, she has a recurring theme of imposter syndrome, yes, which is completely undeserved and out of line with her merits and accomplishments. But
I appreciate that so much. But I do feel this very profound sense of like, I'm here because of luck. And I think that's where the imposter syndrome comes from, is like, if Noelle hadn't reached out at the time that she had, I wouldn't have never gotten involved with renesting and all these other things that kind of felt like they just fell into place. I do need to work on realizing that I'm here on my merit and not luck. But yes, I felt originally very uncomfortable being a mentor, but I was like, I'm not going to turn this down. I love INAR. I want to be there. Heather asked me, so I'm going to do it. And my mentee, Lynn Bryan with Keep Bossier Beautiful, fantastic woman, is working so hard. And so getting her feedback is like, thank you so much for XYZ. I was like, okay, all right. It was good. I did good. So I can't thank INAR enough for creating a brand new network. I don't know if I ever would have met Lynn without the capacity building cohort and being a mentor. So I'm so grateful to everything. And the new center, the resource center, I'm so excited. I'm so excited about that. When Renest Fest is over and things kind of quiet down for me, I will be there 100%.
No, I'm with you 1,000,000%. INAR has also greatly enhanced my network and been life-changing for me as well.
Oh, definitely.
Well, for those in our community who are listening today, just tell them how they can, just moving forward, how they can best help you achieve your mission.
Gotcha. So I mentioned partnership. We partner with the community as well. We are volunteer powered, and the items that we are providing to our clients, the only thing we purchase is beds. Everything else depends on inventory that's been donated by our community. So if people people can either arrange for you to come pick up these items, or they can drop them off themselves at Renesting. Is that accurate? Yes, that is accurate.
Talk a little bit about that process, if you could.
We are open to the public on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9 to 5. In the winter from 9 to 4 because it gets dark and nobody's there. And anytime we're open, people are welcome to drop off any household items. We don't take king-sized furniture, and everything does have to be clean and functional. Again, we're providing items that are increasing the dignity of our clients, not trash. So if you have 2 or more pieces and you can't get it to the warehouse, you can request a pickup on our website, renestingprojectinc.org, and then you visit the donate tab, fill out a form, and we'll get you on the schedule. We do pickups on Wednesdays and Fridays, and we'll come in our box truck, pick them up. Can't go upstairs, so make sure it's on the first floor.
And you are a 501c3, and these donations that folks provide to you are tax deductible?
Always. If you want a receipt, we can write you one on the spot or email it later. And we say that we take just about anything. So from the notepad in your junk drawer to the bed frame, your dresser, your dining table, and kind of everything in between. So kitchen electronics, linens, as long as they're clean and functional. If you would need it moving into an empty apartment, we can use it to give to someone else. So yeah, if you're downsizing, if you're spring cleaning, if you get a new coffee maker for Christmas, send us your old one as long as it works. That is definitely the best way, in my opinion, to get involved, but we also need funding. So if you're interested in donating financially or attending a fundraiser, that's another way to just help us with our mission, because
you're set up to receive funding annually on your website.
Yes,
year round, anytime.
Anytime. Visit that donate tab, put in your credit card or your debit card information, and we are happy to accept that gift.
So you need items, you need volunteers. You always need additional funding. Yeah,
those are the big 3.
Okay. And you do Give for Good like other nonprofits. So
yes, Give for Good, May 6th, I think, in 2026 this year, I think.
I don't know for a fact. But
first Tuesday in May.
There you go.
Yes, Give for Good. And Give for Good is one of my favorite fundraisers that I've ever seen, because it is this incredibly powerful way to showcase the immense generosity of this region. I'm always so enamored by how many organizations are participating, how many donors are participating, and the amount of money that is raised in such a short period of time. It is awe-inspiring, truly. And I love it so much because it goes back to that collective power of community. If all these people weren't coming together and doing this thing, there wouldn't be millions of dollars raised. And the Community Foundation has done an incredible job scaling that event. And I know how much it's growing because the registration keeps moving back. Like, I think it used to be like January, and now it's November. It's wild. I'm always so excited. It's a lot of work. But the return on that work is incredible. Yeah.
And it's really important to so many organizations across our community.
Yeah. But the power of your donation is so much more. Like, if you give me $20 during Give for Good, I'm forever grateful. If you give me $20 during the year, I'm forever grateful. But that $20 during Give for Good, increases the percentage of the Lagniappe Fund and can help us win prizes and additional money. So I just love how much it provides to the organizations that participate, especially Renesting. We have won that Sunrise Prize, I think, 8 years in a row.
And what is that exactly?
The Sunrise Prize is the organization that I think has the most unique donations between 5 and 6 a.m. on the day of Give for Good. It's a $500 prize, which is fantastic. It's a good chunk of money. And my worst fear, my first year as executive director, my first year being in charge of our kind of Give for Good activities, was that we wouldn't win the Sunrise Prize. I was like, I can't lose this legacy in my first year.
I can't break this streak.
Right. I was like, I can't be the reason that we don't win the Sunrise Prize. And so every year I have that same fear. I'm like, I need like a couple Sunrise Prizes under my belt, and then we'll blame it on something else. It won't be blamed on me. So we've kept the streak alive. I do wake up calls. I text everyone I know. I'm like, hey, I know it's 5 a.m., but you can go back to bed, which is what I do. Give for Good is so much fun. That's one of, honestly, our funding is kind of in 3 buckets, and they're generally about 33% each. So grants, just individual donations, and then fundraising events. And Give for Good is like a third of that third. It's a big chunk for us of our annual income, and then our annual fundraiser, and then other stuff is kind of makes up that other third of the third. It's a crazy good event. I went off on a tangent about Give for Good, but yeah, it's so fun. I love it,
and it's so important.
It really is, and there's so much to do. Like everybody's hosting events all over the place for that event. It's really fun.
So those are my set questions today. We have all the time in the world, though. Is there anything else that you want to get into that I didn't ask about specifically? If so, great. If not, no pressure at all.
Okay. Nothing springs to mind. We kind of hit all the main things about Renesting, our upcoming fundraiser.
Renest Fest, a week from today, or 2 days after this publishes, September 27th.
Beautiful live casino. It's gonna be so much fun. That's kind of the main thing. Besides,
work out your disco.
Mission.
You have 2 days after you hear this to kind of fine tune and hone your disco moves and skills. And
yes, if you don't want to dress up, you don't have to. But we are highly encouraging it. Renest Fest, we talked about our mission, how to donate. Those are the don't forget ever kind of things. Talked about Give for Good. Yeah.
Items, volunteer. Yeah. You could volunteer for an hour if you've never been exposed to Renesting Project and you're looking just to get a little more involved in the community. It's a great way to kind of see what's out there, see how one of our great nonprofits functions and all that they're doing, and see if it's something that speaks to you and that you want to be more and more a part of.
Yeah. And we do have multiple shifts. You can come and do whatever you feel like doing on a Tuesday or a Thursday. You can come for an hour in the morning, an hour in the afternoon. We have a little break room. You can bring your lunch. Whatever way you want to get involved, we will find a way to get you involved. So if you aren't really interested in cleaning furniture or packing kits, I've got tons of documents that need shredding. I've got some things that need filing that I've fallen behind on. Really anything that people are interested in, we'll find a way to fit you in.
Well, fantastic. Thanks so much for making the time today. I know next Saturday is going to be wonderful. And I so appreciate you and all you do for our community. This community is super lucky and fortunate to have you in it, and just keep up the incredible work.
Thank you so much for having me today. It was a blast.
Thank you. It was great having you. Always great being with you.
Thank you.